Niggas been counting me out. I'm counting my bullets. I'm loading my clips. I'm writing down names. I'm making them.
Alright, what's going on with the Raw Review game? This your boy Raw Reviews. And today we're going to talk about the Kia Stinger. A personal car of mine, it's a car that I really enjoy. A lot of people don't really talk about it. If they do talk about it, they're probably talking down about it. Me personally, I really love the vehicle. It's one of those vehicles that's very different as far as styling goes, but I know as far as mid-size, executive type cars, it's not, it's one of those cars that's not really uncommon, because you kind of can see those anywhere. So today we're gonna talk about that. And all right, so Kia Motors. Me personally, I mean, when I think of Kia, instantly I go to the Kia Soul, because it's one of those vehicles that just, it's not my favorite, but everyone has their own personal opinion about it. So when you think of Kia, you think of these kind of small type of vehicles, but Kia has now started to not just recently, but in the past couple of years, bring out this different kind of side of them, where they're starting to bring out more executive and mid-size type vehicles and SUVs and things of that nature. So they're really definitely taking a step up from where they used to. As for the Stinger goes, production started in 2017. So the first model, of course, was a 2018 Stinger. And from 2018 to 2020, it's definitely been a lot of different changes, that happened to this vehicle, and not necessarily, I guess you could say, in performance, because we always kind of had the same performance, but we'll get into that a little bit later. But my thing with the Stinger is, it's one of those cars that you kind of, you have to kind of look twice at it, because it's a nice looking car. It's not a car that you sit and you say, oh, it's ugly. And, like I said, a lot of people have their own opinion about this vehicle. But to me, and to a lot of other people, it's not a bad looking car. So as far as what actual class is in, it's in the mid-sized executive car class. So when I think of that, I think of, your Mercedes-Benz E-Class, and Lexus with their I honestly can't even think of it right now, but they're mid-sized executive vehicles. And when I think of those vehicles, I think of luxurious type of vehicles, because that's kind of all I really ever kind of went off of, was those type of vehicles when it came to this class. When you say executive, what else am I supposed to think, right? So that's where it kind of came from. It's considered a 5-door. Now a lot of people don't understand what that means. 5-door, you have 4 doors, and then you have a hatch. So the car is technically a hatchback, but it's considered a 5-door. I know Audi has 5-door vehicles. Honda has a 5-door Civic. So it's not uncommon, but it's one of those things. It's pretty rare to see too. So trying to take it with a grain of salt when you see it. It's like, either you might like it or maybe you don't. So that's kind of how, I guess, the span of this video might go, because it's not really a prediction thing. It's knowing what we know about it, and really if you like it or not. It's just really a discussion, if that makes sense. We just kind of discussing the vehicle. So yeah. So you have 2 different drivetrains when it comes to this car. You could do a front engine rear-wheel drive, which is my personal preference. And then you have a front engine all-wheel drive. Now, those 2 different distinctions, it's a lot that kind of goes with them. where I live, I should say the all-wheel drive one, considering that we get snow. We kind of get all the elements here, so I should say all-wheel drive. But the kind of guy that I am, I love rear-wheel drive vehicles. So I've always been a rear-wheel drive, kind of guy. So I never really, got into the trend of all-wheel drive, and that's kind of where I kind of want to stay, if that makes sense. So, yeah. So I'm not really gonna bore you all with the, exact breakdown of what engine is what and things of that nature. But if you do want me to say stuff like that, I mean, just let me know in the comments, and I will definitely, let you all know these things in the future. But you have two different versions, primarily, of the Stinger. You have a premium Stinger, and then you have the GT Stingers. And the GT Stingers are broken down into twos. So it's a GT1 and then it's a GT2. The premiums is like kind of your base. If you want a Stinger, but you don't want if you don't want the performance package that the GT offers, then you get the premium, because it comes with like just a different drive style, if that makes sense. I mean, it still can, drive how you want it to if you need to. But that's it's like your base Stinger. It's one of those vehicles, it's that option that you kind of just be like, okay, cool. We just gonna have a nice car in the driveway or in the garage, wherever, just to, take out on the weekends or something. Then the GTs, so the GT1 and the GT2s, those are your performance Stingers. Those pretty much are your performance inherited vehicles. If you want a performance Kia, you get a Stinger GT, and those in its own right are very, very quick. I've seen a couple in real life actually beat out a lot of these cars that people, say like, oh, they're fast. Okay, well, I can show you a Stinger that is equally as fast. So as far as these engines go in the premium or the GTs, the premiums, the horsepower numbers are just 252 horsepower. So, like I said, your base, nothing to be like driving home about, oh, I got this. It's your base, vehicles to just cruise around in. It's not nothing, I'm not gonna say nothing special, but it's not. I mean, if you're a performance head, it's not nothing special. It's not something to write home about. And then your GTs, well, those have 365 horsepower. Still, not nothing to write home about, because, like I said, a lot of people will say 360. It's not nothing. Compared to what we have these days. But when you think about power to weight ratios, that is what you should understand. And if you don't understand the power to weight ratio, it's mainly when a car has, it's like you said, we were talking about the Stinger. So the Stinger has a low horsepower number. I'm not saying that it's the lightest thing, but it's lighter than most of these cars that, are on the market against it. And, it's one of those things. Like, you have to kind of actually think about it. And that's why I feel like a lot of people don't understand that about the car. Like, it's not bad when it comes to performance. A lot of people just shut it off because of horsepower numbers, and they say, nope, I don't want it. It goes deeper than that, and I'm going to explain why. So the 2020 Stinger has a little bit more horsepower. It's only a couple numbers up. 368 horsepower from 365. Again, doesn't really make a big difference when you think about it. But 3,000 or 4,000 pounds of a car, versus these 5,000-6,000 pound, vehicles, it makes a big difference. I mean, you might not be, the most flashy or the loudest or any of that nature. But for a vehicle that you can daily drive, cruise on the highway, commute daily, it's not a bad vehicle at all, to me at least. And I know it's probably gonna be a lot of people with their own opinions. And I mean, hey, this is what we're here for. We're here to discuss. I don't want people to think like, oh, it's not arguments at all. It's definitely just discussions, and that's all it's gonna be. So when I make these type of videos, that's what I kind of want you all to keep in mind. It's so really in the lure of everything that I kind of talked about in the video. The Kia Stinger was set to, I think in 2019, was set to be canceled because of low sale rates and things of that nature, which every car manufacturer had to deal with at some point. With the Stinger, though, it kind of re-emerged as the 2020 was put out. So it kind of saved itself, but again, it's kind of, it's in that circle of vehicles to be like, we might just have to kill this because low sales. I know the Stinger right now, they talking about a wagon version. It does not look bad, actually. I'm a wagon guy, so it actually does not look bad to me personally. But to a lot of people, is that something that we really want? With the with Audi right now, with their I believe it's the RS7, if I'm not mistaken, the wagon that they have that's coming out. A lot of people have their eyes on it, and it's an eye opener. It's one of those things that we haven't seen in a while. So I think the fresher it is in our minds, that's what that's what sells. And it, like I said, I put pictures up and things of that nature, but it's definitely not a bad vehicle. It does not look bad at all. And as far as like pricing goes, I have no idea, but I will probably say it's around the same range as like the regular Stingers, maybe. You think about the premiums, you talk about maybe $25,000 to $30,000 for the premium versions. And then you think of the GT versions, you go upwards to about $30,000 to $40,000 for these, versions. And again, for what you're getting, it's not a bad car. Actually, it's, to me, a great deal. But again, not to a lot of people, as per sales. So I can understand where a lot of people kind of go with the whole fight against it, like it's okay, but it's not one of those vehicles that a lot of people want. You see it, it's a great looking car, but a lot of people don't see it that way. A lot of people don't see it as just a great looking vehicle that they will want to drive around every day. A lot of people think it's too big because it's been compared to the Genesis a lot, not styling wise, but just size wise. And I can understand that. But I mean, again, it's everyone's opinion. What they want to spend their money on is what they spend their money on. So, yeah. So, at the end of the day, I mean, again, it's only a discussion. It's nothing concrete, nothing I'm sitting here throwing out so much like valuable information. It's really just mainly my own opinion about these vehicles that I do videos on. But at the end of it, like I said, if you enjoy the video, like and subscribe. Comment down below if you want me to do a certain vehicle or certain vehicles. I have no problem doing that. You just have to let me know, of course. And after everything else, man, it's been Raw Reviews, and I'm out. Peace.
I'm counting my bullets, I'm loading my clips, I'm writing down names, I'm making a list, I'm checking it twice, and I'm getting them hit.